Hey, everybody. I feel like I just saw you because I'm recording this pre recorded broadcast right after my broadcast, my live broadcast on Wednesday, October 20th. But I am seeing you on Friday, October 22nd. I didn't even bring a costume change. You're seeing me with the same exact outfit. But today we have a very special broadcast for you. For this Free Tip Friday, I'm pre-recording a lot of beady goodness for you because we've got a trunk show that's going to go live in about an hour at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time today, October 22nd on Friday. So I wanted to go over some of the things that you're going to see, and then I'll sign off. And at 11:30 a.m., you can jump on over to Bead Shop and do your shopping. Do remember when you're shopping these limited items, because the items are limited. Just because you put them in your cart, it doesn't mean that they're reserved for you. Okay, so if it's your first time shopping on beadshop.com, you may want to jump over, create an account, sign into your account so you're ready to shop. So then when you toss things right into the your cart, and you can do that right from the page. Drea will have a link up on the front page. You can shop the trunk show, just add the items that you want, go in and check out so that things don't sell out while you're browsing for other things. Or you can browse for other things, put them in your cart beforehand, add the trunk show items to your cart, and then check out, and you're good to go. Okay? So I hope you like these items. Again, I talked about a little bit on Wednesday that things like this, I saw one of my African bead dealers who I hadn't seen really since pre-pandemic. So it was great to see him, and I found some really great pieces, but unfortunately they're too limited for us to carry them on the website. But these fun ways of doing our little trunk shows are a really fun way to bring some of these, what do I want to say, limited editions to you guys, right to you. So let's jump in without further ado, shall we? And I'm going to talk about them. I know that Janice and Gita are both online and doing moderating right now. I'm sorry, since this is pre-recorded, I won't see your comments live, but hopefully if you have any questions, they can pick those right up as it goes. Okay, so let me add my demo camera to the stream and lay out these. All right, solo layout this. So let's get started. I'm just going to go through the beads that we're carrying, just kind of a quick overview, just to give you an idea of what they are. And then I'll sign off and you'll get to shopping. First up on my pad here, these are Christmas beads, what is known as Christmas beads, because they're multicolored like beautiful Christmas lights. These are the traditional Christmas beads here, and it's always a thing with me, right? Where the heck is, even though I'm pre-recording, where the heck is my, my tape measure? Gosh darn it. Here we go. There we go. I'm all good. Um, really, Kate? Really? So this length, this is the original Christmas bead, and we've carried them before, but we haven't had them actually for a while here at Bead Shop, because sometimes the Christmas beads, the what do I want to say, the variety of beads sometimes varies over what we have. So I'm going to push this camera down a little bit closer so you can see them. These Christmas beads up top they're sold by the strand, and they are a mixture of some sand cast beads, which are beautiful, some little glass seed beads, and sometimes just a random assortment of beads that they have sitting around once these beads are being strung. So each strand is different, and each strand has different little treasures on it. I think that you'll find, like I was talking about these with Emily the other day, and she was saying, "Oh, Kate, I need some Christmas beads," because they're so versatile, right? You can sort them in color order, which I think is fun to use when you're kind of playing around with different designs. Or maybe Janice, if she has it, I think she must have it at home. She did a beautiful necklace where she used these Christmas beads and then she used the brass rings for that. They were really beautiful. So it's kind of like an across cultures kind of a bracelet. So let me tell you the length of these guys. This is about 30, 34 inches probably in length, and they're temporarily strung on a cotton strand. And you can see just the different beads here. Again, some little sand cast pieces, some seed beads, really beautiful. And they vary in size, but this is the smaller version. So like this small, let me turn this on, this small seed bead here, I don't know, it's about maybe about a 2 millimeter or so. Whoops, sorry, I'm out of the shot there. About 2 millimeter. That little tube is about 4 millimeter. So they vary. Okay, so these are the Christmas beads. Really a fun, if you haven't worked with them, they're just so beautiful. Look at this one. Look at that little sandcast beauty that's in there. Just really gorgeous. From West Africa, a traditional kind of bead. These are what our trader, what he said to us, these are the large Christmas beads, right? They are also using those large seed beads like 32 watts, 2 watts. And some of them, look at these, those watermelon white hearts are in there. Some regular, some blue white hearts. It's called a white heart when it has a white lining. Some of those orange ones. I mean, they're just terrific. So this is the large Christmas bead, all glass. There aren't any sand cast beads or anything in here. And these are all larger, about 5 millimeter to 6 millimeter and beyond. They're really a gorgeous bead. I'm strung on that natural raffia, and the length on this guy here is the length of beads. It's about 22 inches or so for these. Okay, so I thought this would be a fun way to kick it off, right? Those multicolored beads, just so delish. I've got some others that kind of go in that category. I found some strands, and I don't see these very often anymore, also of white hearts, but they're big. Usually I see the white hearts in a smaller bead, and you can see these are old and they have some inclusions on them. Some of the beads are perfect. Some of them might have a little bit of a ding or two in them, but that's just kind of how the bead is. Again, it's a white heart, so it's a white lined glass bead. These are a little larger in size and range again from that like 6 millimeter. That one's a little bit bigger to 7 millimeter, strung on the natural raffia. The whole size is nice and large. You could get it probably a 2 millimeter leather in there for sure. And these also about 22 inches worth of beads here. And that red, I'm going to move my camera up just a little bit. That red is super vibrant. I just love them. And so they would mix really well with those Christmas beads. So the large white hearts. I have a super limited supply of these. He actually only had a few strands, but I had to grab them because I don't often see Crobo beads like this that really look similar in size and shape. A lot of the Crobo beads that we see now have different sizes and shapes to them, but what I liked about these were that they were so uniform. And you'll see the bead styles really vary on these, right? What you get on the strand. Different eye beads, different dots, things like that. These are sand cast. These Crobo beads are sand cast. They have a nice, generous hole. That interior hole diameter is about 3 millimeter, a little shy of that. And the beads are about 13 to about 13.5 millimeter, maybe even a little bit larger. little bit smaller, just depending on the beads. Again, this is probably about 22 inches worth of beads, maybe a little bit longer, maybe close to 24 inches. And they're gorgeous. I just love them. And you'll get a random strand. All of the patterns are different with these. Also, again, strung on the raffia. Super limited supply on these, but I just love them. And they mix really well. So these will last you a long time if you use them in a bunch of different projects. And again, some of the beads have a little bit of wear on them, and some are a little more pristine. But again, that's just the nature of this bead. So I'm going to continue on with my multicolors, and then we're going to get into some others that I think are really nice. This is a classic style of bead. And when I had my shop in San Francisco, when I had Bidissimo, I sold so many of these beads because I love them so much. And I don't know, I might be the only one, but these are, in the old days when these were made, these are modern, they're not vintage, but when you can find them vintage, they were made of vulcanized rubber or old records or any kind of like recycled rubber that they could find, right? Now they're made, these also are still recycled. A lot of recycled materials go into these, but they're more of a like a vinyl than an old-fashioned rubber. You would see them in red. I have some that are vintage that are red and they're larger. I just love them so much. So these vinyl beads, you can see they are about 4 millimeters, a little bit more, by about 0.5 millimeter thick, and they almost look like a little sequin. And you can see that hole is probably a little shy of 0.5 millimeter right there. The strand is really long on these, and they're strung on this kind of cool yarn. But this length is just shy of 40 inches, about 38 inches probably for these guys. And these are the vinyl heishi. You can use them like you'd use any heishi bead. You can sort them by color if you want, or you can just string them in little, segments on something. I think they would look great as spacers or whatever. So we've got these guys. They would also look great on memory wire. These would be fantastic on memory wire as a coiled bracelet, right? Kind of like that. It's kind of hard to coil it up, but I think it would look great as a bracelet like that. Super cheerful. Okay. Now I've got some of our currants to show you. So let me get a couple of strands and start tossing them in the center here. Look at that red. Usually we carry what we call currants. Currants is our name for them because they kind of look like sea glass, right? So hence the name, we call them currants. But they're recycled glass, also made in West Africa, in Ghana. And I found some colors that we don't often see in these. And there weren't really enough I could have sold them by the piece or whatever, but I really wanted to sell them to you by the strand because I thought, I don't know, by the strand, they're so majestic, right? They just have so much beauty in them. So I've got all of these amazing colors, and I'm going to show you. You saw this on my Wednesday broadcast, how I got some centerpieces to go with them. These are brass, made to look like traditional antique centerpieces, right? But these are modern. But I thought, what a beautiful, simple contrast between these beautiful recycled glass beads and these centerpieces. I also we have one, actually, it's sitting out in the other room that you'll see in the trunk show. It's a little spiral bead, flat bead with a spiral on it. I don't have it in here to preview you, but you'll see it on the trunk show. Those would go really well with these also. But look at this like fall splendor right here, right? So these pendants are all brass, have nice large holes. And you could simply get some of these hollow brass beads here. And you could mix and match the colors. But these recycled glass, there's a couple of different sizes. I'm going to kind of take these larger ones out first. And I want to talk about these smooth ones. These are kind of the smooth that I've got here. This is what we call black currant, this color. It's a really kind of delicious, kind of dark purple wine color here. About 12 millimeters by about 12.5 by about 12. These pumpkin, that orange is just so, it just really is a deep, beautiful color. A little over 11 millimeters by 11 millimeters wide. So they're kind of oval. The whole size is huge. This red, I'm just crazy for. They're nice and smooth. The glass feels really silky. 10 by about 11. So these are the smaller ones here. You could get some strands, mix them up, hang one of these pendants at the bottom, throw some of these brass ones in, and they'd be beautiful. So that's these guys here. The other colors of this recycled glass by the strand, this we're calling pear. This color, it's kind of yellow, it's kind of chartreuse, it's kind of that old Vaseline glass color. The color is just magical. I had to have them all. I loved them. And look at how it looks with this brass, right? You could get even a couple of these smaller pendants. The pendants, let me show you, about 50 millimeter, about 70 millimeter. This one's real big. About 87 millimeter, right? That translates to about 3.5 inches in length. This one here about 60 millimeter, about 2.25 inches here. Really just gorgeous. I've got this amber swirl. Look at how the two of those look together. Oh, you could add this water color, the blue, or the green, or both. But these are all a little bit larger than the other set. These guys are about 12.5 by about 15 millimeter. So again, sort of an oval, kind of more of a squat, kind of round bead. But they all play together beautifully. They're really lovely. And the length of these guys is about 20 inches, maybe 20.5 or so, right? So really just beautiful. Quality of the glass on these are gorgeous. Let me pull these all over. And they go, let me show you. These Christmas beads are just killing me. But look at how happy that is. Look at how, isn't it time for some happiness in our lives, right? Look at how those mix. And then throw one of these beautiful pieces on there and you have a Say Something necklace that's just gorgeous. I tried to pick the beads so they all kind of spoke together in a collection. I was pretty happy with the way that those went. So then, in addition to these guys and this brass, I've got these. These are, you've seen that we have been carrying, I did those mixes, I did that in my tribal mix. We have some in stock on the wall, the striped gooseberry, though we're out of some of them. You guys really love those. These are a little bit larger than the ones that we have in stock right now. Again, limited. Look at this aqua. And there's one more here if I can find it, which is my favorite. It's kind of a weird color, but I love it. This gray. So these are the gooseberry beads. Again, glass beads, handmade, West Africa, Ghana. Strand length about 24 inches. We get a little closer so you can see those colors. They're all about the same size. Whole size will fit at least a 1.5 millimeter leather in them. Some will fit the 2 millimeter. The beads vary in size. They're like little barrels. 8 millimeter by about 8.5 millimeter. Some are shorter, but they're beautiful. This is the forest, the forest green, burnt orange, aqua, and gray. And these guys have the colored stripes to them, and then the aqua has just the white stripe. Again, they go, I think, beautifully. I don't use enough orange, and I'm kind of having an orange moment right now. I don't know. But it goes so beautifully with the burnished colors of this brass, right? Look at how it looks when you add that gray into it. Really beautiful. You can throw in, let me see, now I've done it. I've tangled them up. Look at how this purple, what are we calling it, black currant, looks with that. I mean, that's just a handful of fall colors right there. Look at how beautiful those are. So I tried to do a little color editing for you guys so that whatever you get will kind of go with whatever you get. Look at this yellow and forest green. Talk about unique, kind of interesting color combinations. I'm really happy with these. And then you could throw in, even that orange looks beautiful in there. You could tone it down by adding that blue. Look at that. The amber swirl looks amazing with it. So with all of these, kind of this interesting fall color palette, I think you could stash dive into your stash at home. We also have in our tribal and trade section, you can also kind of accent with other things that we have to make a really gorgeous, gorgeous piece for yourself. I think they're really super spectacular beads. Well, I don't want to dally too long, and I think that's everything. I think I've showed you everything. We've got the Christmas beads, the small and the large. Look at those. Oh, so gorgeous. The small and the large, we've got the vinyl records, I like to call them. These guys here. The Crovo, which will sell out in a heartbeat. These beauties. The brass, and of course, the recycled glass beads that we like to call currants. I'm just going to lay them right there because what a pretty picture that is. There we go. Here, I'm back. So that's your preview on the sizes here. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you like this. I mean, it's a limited edition, but I think they're really beautiful. I hope you like them as much as I do. They will be available at 11:30 Pacific time today, Friday, October 22nd. Very limited. So again, if you put them in your cart, just putting them in your cart does not reserve them for you. You have to check out before those beads become yours. But stay tuned. I'll have some more special trunk shows coming up for you guys. this fall. But I hope that you enjoy these wonderful beads of West Africa. I've really been having a moment with them. The bead artistry and quality of these beads really harken back to beads of old, how beads have been made and worn for millennia. So thank you, you guys, so much for joining me. I will see you on Wednesday for our big anniversary show. We are celebrating on October 27th our 5-year anniversary of broadcasting here at beadshop.com, doing these live shows. I'm going to be working with the Jewel Loom. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to have some giveaways. We're going to have some chat. I have a great project all set up for you guys that you'll see next week. And then on Friday, October 29th, Janice and I will be doing our Bead Doctor segment. So if you have a question for Bead Doctor, if you want a question answered by Janice and I live on air, send your questions over to info@beadshop.com and we will choose some to answer live on air. It's always a fun kind of free-for-all, those Bead Doctor days. It's a holdover from the consultations that we used to do in our brick and mortar store in Palo Alto. Also, you guys, do remember, if you haven't done so already, jump over to beadshop.com and you can find all of the information on the products. There's not a project today from today's broadcast, which is going to go live at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Sign up for our newsletter for the latest discounts, giveaways, and new products so that you'll get all of those previews of fun upcoming stuff that we are doing here at Bead Shop. And all this month, you'll see the coupon code AUTUMN10 on our website. It takes 10% off of all orders, no minimum. And you can use that on the trunk show as well. So enter coupon code AUTUMN10 at checkout. Do remember, though, you can only use one coupon code or VIB reward if you have one at a time. You can't stack those discounts. So just a reminder there. And of course, you can always find us on our social media. Give us a follow at beadshop.com on Instagram. Please join us over at the Bead Table on our Facebook group. We'd love to have you there. We're over 7,000 beaders strong. We have a lot of fun. And of course, you can like and subscribe at beadshop.com. And so you'll never miss a video there. So thank you so much for joining me for this pre-recorded broadcast before our trunk show. I will see you next week to celebrate our 5-year anniversary. Happy shopping, everybody. And we really, really, of course, appreciate your support for our small business, because without you out there, we over here would not be able to continue to do what we love. So we appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great, great weekend, and I'll see you next